Hi, I'm Heather Bagnall, your delegate in District 33. Thank you for joining me for my update. Well, it has been a very busy couple of weeks as we get ready for the next legislative session. We had our third meeting of our Health and Government Operations Work Group on crisis beds, and I gave my first report on repurposing crisis beds. Through our conversations, I realized we were looking at two different streams. One is repurposing excess capacity within the hospitals for behavioral health emergency departments, something the hospitals have already been doing organically, but we wanted to strategize ways in which we could support those efforts. The second stream is looking at utilizing our community-based behavioral health services and matching need to capacity. If you'd like to know more about what we did in the work group, all of that was live streamed and it's available on the Maryland General Assembly website. We also had a very busy couple of weeks regarding the Bay Bridge, both the redecking project and the Tier 1 NEPA study for the new Bay Bridge corridor. We have had a rather fluid situation, and I've been in fairly constant contact with the State Highway Administration, MDTA, MTA, and the Toll Authority. We have another meeting coming up on October the 28th, another open house regarding the Tier 1 study, and that will be available for public comment, but public comment in writing. So if you are available October the 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Annapolis High School, that will be another opportunity to hear more about the Tier 1 study. Now, at the previous meeting, I was able to request that the executive director of the Toll Authority come to the meeting to answer questions about the redecking project, about the timeline and the specifics of what's happening and the need for it. I'm also trying to make sure that our commuters stay front and center in the discussions about how to mitigate that traffic, as I think commuters sometimes are lost in the conversation, and we really are the bread and butter of that corridor. So we need to make sure that we stay front and center in the priority list. I also have turned my attentions once again to Route 450 and the flood mitigation efforts that we are making to make sure that the stormwater drain cleanouts that we're doing are just the first in a series of approaches to mitigate that flooding ahead of the inclement weather. And as we are looking at the new consolidated transportation plan to make sure that 450 stays top of that priority list. I was able to attend the Sierra Club retreat and learn some new strategies on sea level rise and climate change mitigation. And I wanted to thank everyone who came out to my listening tour. I've had 2 tour dates, and I really appreciate that you've come out. We will be in Edgewater Library tomorrow, Tuesday, from 6:45 to 8:45. So if you have not been able to make a previous meeting, this is a great opportunity to come out and be heard. I also wanted to thank all the folks that came out and joined me this past Saturday for Coffee on the Severn. I know that a Saturday morning, especially one as beautiful as we had, coming out and talking to your representatives about your priorities, it means a lot, and I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank my chair of our delegation, who arranged a tour of the Maryland Correctional Enterprises. So I was able to see both the women's prison and the men's prison and get a sense of the services that we offer and also the services that we need for our incarcerated community. This Wednesday, I have another open house in my office from 10 a.m. to noon, so please feel free to come by, talk about your concerns ahead of the legislative session, room 160 in the House Office Building. I also did attend the meeting regarding Laurel Park, and I know that there are going to be concerns raised as we go into the General Assembly session about both Laurel Park and Pimlico, because those 2 projects are now coupled, and we're going to be looking at them closely to make sure that that we're meeting the needs of our communities, that we have the resources available, and also that at how they are a part of our overall budget. I was a proud sponsor of Burgers and Bands for suicide prevention, as well as the Maryland Therapeutic Writers Fall Festival, and I was thrilled to be part of those two events. Finally, I want to close with an acknowledgement of the great loss that we suffered this past week with the death of Congressman Elijah Cummings. I spend my life in words. I'm a playwright and a theater maker by trade, but his loss has left me a bit speechless. They say that all politics is local, and though Congressman Cummings is a national figure, he was also a local hero, and he did a lot for the state of Maryland, and very recently has felt like he was on the front lines of a battle for the soul of our democracy. And I know that this is a loss that we all are going to feel. And I wanted to say thank you to the congressman for his lifetime of service, and to say a prayer for his family, particularly for Dr. Maya Rockymore Cummings, his wife and partner in all things. So thank you.